Loc Nation here. We-On-Loc Nation. Back at it again. We got to do it at least a couple more times, or this might be the content that everybody's looking for. But first, we must get some things in order. And that is being on code. I'm going to teach you what being on code is all about. See you in a bit. Welcome back to the We-On-Loc Nation show, where, well, hell, I gotta come up with with some memes or something, and then I'm gonna be coming up with some merch, pretty soon. It's in the works, but just like, share, and subscribe, and we're gonna do this StreamYard thing couple more times, and then I think we're just find some other means of communication. So the whole DAFA thing, I think that's where we need to be as Black people in America. Black people, African American, American African, whatever the case may be. I think it's about high time that, and I do agree with Dr. Umar when he says this thing. Although, of course, I could care less how FBA doesn't like it. It doesn't matter at this point. Tariq's a failure. He succeeds off the bodies of Black people when they have money. When he's not successful, of course, he's going to go the other route. I already told you about Tariq. Everybody knows about Tariq Nasheed and his hustle gang or whatever. Pimping since pimping, been pimping. Right? We all know about that. We all know about the divisive shit that goes on in the FBA, which they proclaim they're not divisive, which is a bunch of BS. My question is, who would you feel most comfortable with? I'm going to give you 3 options. 3. Who do you feel most comfortable speaking to? Let's just say there is a meeting amongst the FBAs, the Adolfs, and Pan-Africanists. And you have Yvette Cornell, which represents Adolfs. You have Tariq Nasheed, who represents, whether he wants to believe it or not, doesn't take any type of responsibility for it, FBAs. And then you got Umar Ifa Tunde, Pan-Africanists. I'm gonna come up with this question, and then I'm gonna play. We're gonna move on to something because I want this to sit. Okay, I want this to sit, and I want this to sit with you. I want this to sit heavy because we're going into a space. We're getting into a particular space that's dangerous. And I'm asking you honestly and specifically, who would you feel most comfortable with? would you feel most comfortable with when it's a round table full of FBAs? When it comes to communication, do you feel most comfortable speaking with FBAs? Do you feel most comfortable speaking with Adolfs? Or do you feel most comfortable with Pan Africanists? I'm going to leave you with that. And when I come back to that, I would like an answer. Remember, Darfa, which whom are depicted, descendants of African, what do you say? Descendants of African freemen in America. That sounds great. That sounds wonderful for the simple fact that we are free in America. We are free. We are free, independent black people in America. There were thousands. There was like 400,000 American Africans who were free in this country. I'm just going to leave you with this, and then we're going to move on real quick, and then we're going to come back to this. Once again, do you feel most comfortable having a roundtable discussion with Adolfs? You see how Adolfs gets down, right? This is Yvette Cornell. Or do you feel comfortable with Tariq Nasheed's Foundational Black Americans? And you see how they get down. Or do you feel comfortable speaking with Umar Ifa Tunde in the Pan-African movement? Who do you think is going to be reasonable? Who do you think is going to get the job done? Next, early voting. Early voting stops today. Early voting was all the way from Monday all the way until today, which is Friday, the 27th of today. Hopefully, y'all went out today and did your early voting to vote Jasmine Crockett as your U.S. Senator. And for the primary, I don't know what's going to happen with the general, but let's see what my girl's been up to lately. I've been watching close by, and she has been doing a terrific job.
Go and grab people off the streets.
Jesus. Oh, let me stay focused.
Drag them and in some cases kill them. You tell me what part of the Bible that comes out of. That's what I want to know. So time out for games. We are tired in. We're going to win this. We're going to win it. It's clear that they want us to be convinced that they are the patriots, that they are the ones that love this country. They don't understand what this country is. This country has always been a land of immigrants. It has always been the land of the free-ish. And they're trying to set us back. In fact, if you remember, there was somebody that was running for president, and she said, we won't go back. Unfortunately, we have gone back. But these numbers tell me something else. These numbers tell me that Texans know what's up. These numbers tell me that Texans say, not on our watch. And I just want to remind you of another amazing woman. Some of you may, all of y'all look a little young. There was a young woman who had the audacity to believe that she could win the state of Texas, being bold and unapologetic. Her name was Ann Richards. Many states to this day still have not elected a woman governor, but we had Ann Richards back in the 90s. That's who Texas is. They want to convince us that we have this rich history of conservatism that does nothing but beat down certain folk. But that's not who our history tells us we are. Our history tells us that we elect great people like LBJ to the presidency so that he can sign the Civil Rights Act into law, so that he can sign the Voting Rights Act into law. Our rich history tells us that there was a little case by the name of Roe v. Wade that came out of my district in Dallas. You see, Texas historically has set this country on fire for the right reasons. It is only in the recent times that we have decided to lead this country into a deplorable space. I am here to tell you that a new day is coming. I am here to tell you that the power belongs to the people. As much as they want you to be convinced that you are powerless, as much as they want you to believe that this is the time to be hopeless, I am here to tell you that weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. I am here to tell you that joy is here. We are tired of weeping. We are tired of the corruption. We are tired of them robbing us in broad daylight and pretending like we should like it. We have a president right now that believes that he should get $250 million or 261 of them because the federal government had the audacity to try to prosecute him because he's a criminal. We also have... Okay. He telling me y'all can't hear down there. I'm not loud. We also know, see, he done messed me up now. We also know that we have a president that has decided he's entitled to $10 billion because his taxes were released. Now, the person that released the taxes is currently serving time in prison. But this is what he's doing. He has profited to the tune of $1.4 billion and counting since he swore in. Now, we're not talking about his family members. We're not talking about his homeboys. And listen, if y'all don't believe that they're trying to set up these immigration camps so that he can line the pockets of his friends, I know some of us have been talking about that kind of stuff for a long time. We have seen this a time or two, where they decide to build these cages so that certain people can profit. And then they got to fill the cages with bodies. That's exactly what they are doing to our immigrant neighbors. He tried to tell you that the immigrants were going to take y'all black jobs. Y'all remember that? That's what he said. He said the immigrants going to take your black jobs. Well, let me tell you something. 330,000 black women have lost their jobs, and it don't seem like it was the immigrants. It don't seem like it was the immigrants unless we're talking about Elon. I just want to be clear. The reason that I bring this up is because they were allowed to divide us. And we all know that united we stand, divided we fail. Don't fall again. We have to be united in this moment. It's not about what separates us, it is what unites us. And right now, this bad economy unites us. Right now, this lack of access to healthcare unites us. Right now, this expensive food unites us. Right now, specifically if you were in Texas and you got a child that you were trying to send off to public education. Right now, defunding public education unites us. So I'm here to tell you, don't listen to the haters on the outside, because it's going to be a lot of that. And don't listen to the distractions. They are the kings and queens of distraction and division. It is time for us to let all of that go. It is time for us to focus on us and the future that we deserve.
Real quick, I want you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Yes, real quick. Like I said, early voting stopped today. If you came out and voted, congratulations. especially in the state of Texas. I had called I had called my sister and I said, go. Yeah. I want to. So she did the damn thing. And I think next week, Monday, we will know specifically if there ain't any cheating involved. We will know specifically who is in on top of the food chain between Jasmine Crockett and James Tellerico, and on the Republican side, if John Cornyn and whoever else, the Wesley Hunts of the world, we gonna see where they're at. But I have complete confidence that Jasmine Crockett is on top because I've seen the early numbers, and quite frankly, she's in steam. She's in steam ahead of James Tellerico. But let me tell you something about these Negroes. These specific, not all, these specific Negroes hate the fact that Jasmine Crockett is going to be in that seat. I have all the confidence. I have the confidence. I have the faith that she is going to be in that seat. But they were asking the reason why I'm going through this rant real quick is because of the simple fact that you hear these Negroes hate that a woman like this, you see, they want her to act a certain way. They want her to play the script. Go on, get your hair all tight, right? Do something with your fingernails, act all white and shit, act all political. Well, she has spice. And of course, Negroes don't like that because, it all goes back to, shall I say it? Shall I keep it a bean? Shall I keep it 1,000? They like them young. They like them real young and not fully developed yet. I'm talking about the ages between 18 and 21. 18 and 21, you're fully in your body, but your brain is not developed yet. These Negroes like control. These Negroes like it when they are in control. They don't want a person to grow up like this. They don't want a person that's grown up like this. You got Annie Presley, the bald-headed chick, love her. You got plenty of Democratic females who are in a position of power, who think independently. I don't know the status of their relationships, don't know and don't care. Why should I care let me not go there. Needless to say, Jasmine Crockett is on the right track and she needs protection. She definitely needs protection. Let's continue.
We deserve better. The only reason I decided to run for the U.S. Senate is because we changed. People decide I hate politics. I hate it.
But you're so good at it, baby.
I hate it. Listen, all you do is you put yourself out there for somebody to decide you're going to be a punching bag. And then they feel away when you punch back. But listen, that's who I am. My good friend Christian is right up front. I didn't know he was going to be here. He knows how I am. This is another lawyer. He has seen me in the courtroom. Listen, I don't play. I really don't. And so when it comes to politics and they be like, oh, you gotta, I'm like, yo, I'm not really made for this. But one thing that I can tell you that I am real about change. When you look at the United States House, listen, I am confident we are going to take the House. We are. And the 5 seats they thought they were going to get in Texas is not going to happen. I'm telling you. Because we're going to overperform. But here's the reality. I have signed on to I have signed on to and or introduced over 1,000 bills since I've been in the House. I got a bill for everything, y'all. I really do. And on my website, if you visit jasmineforus.com, you will see under our issues page, I could not say that I was the person in this race that had experience and then not give you receipts on what I've been doing. That's just the reality. So you see not only the bills, but we put the links so you could actually read what the bills do. We have solutions. But what good is it if you don't have the votes? We don't have the votes in the Senate. The reason right now women don't have reproductive access in this country, specifically if they live in Texas, is because we don't have the votes in the Senate. The reason they were able to do this mid-decade redistricting that they have engaged in is because we don't have the votes in the Senate. The reason we have this daggone Supreme Court that decided that he would have some kind of criminal immunity, because we know it's because of the Supreme Court. And how do you get to the Supreme Court? Who gets you there? And who has to confirm you? The Senate. Every problem I can think of that we have right now somehow runs right through the Senate. If we had a Democratic senator right now, I wouldn't be running. This is about not only making change for our state, but making change for our entire democracy in this country and frankly in this world. I am concerned about the moment that we're in. If you've been paying attention, I know they love the distractions. Like, we're dealing with Epstein. I was supposed to be in New York right now doing a deposition as relates to President Clinton and the Epstein files. Because this is the real work that we have to do. But here it is. People want to talk about everything but what this guy is up to, which is number one, he's stealing. And number two, he's starting wars. Like, he is starting wars. Like, how many veterans do I have? Thank you for your service. Thank you. Listen, right now, every single one of us knows someone that is in the military or has been in the military. And right now, he is about to potentially send our troops into war illegally because I haven't gotten a phone call. It is Congress that has the power to declare war, not the president. But right now, we have a Congress that won't check him on any of his lack of power. That is why we got to change the numbers. We've got to make sure that there is a check because the Republicans are cowards. They have forgotten that they swore an oath to the Constitution and not this orange menace. Yes. So nevertheless, I just want to say thank you so much. Listen, where's our... I got you. I want to say thank you. Because the entire country is watching Texas, and it is because of you. It is because of you. Do you know that the fact that y'all showed up and voted, that inspired other people? Seeing is believing. So many people have not believed. But the fact that our numbers every day, I'm going to tell you, I wake up with anxiety. I'm like, it's gonna drop off. We done. It's going to drop off. Y'all keep pulling. Y'all keep showing out. And so, of course, it's the last day of early voting. Now y'all got cell phones out. Now, I know y'all all got group chats. You got your family group chat. You got your soccer mom group chat. You got your sorority group chat. You got your group chats. I am going to challenge each and every one of you need to see your group chat. I'm going to need you to send a message in your group chat. And you need to tell everybody you know to get out and vote. It's the last day of early voting. You tell everybody they need to get out and vote. I would love if you tell them that at the top of the ticket, there's a little girl by the name of Jasmine Felicia Crockett. But no matter what, you tell them to get out and vote because it matters. This is truly life or death. Whether we're talking about our troops or whether we're talking about the people that will not be able to afford their medication or their health insurance. One of the things that I've done here recently, because I wanted you to understand that I am fighting for you even if I've never met you, is I want you to raise your hand if your healthcare premiums went up. Again, I know this because I know the numbers, because I warned them. You can run the tape on me, y'all. I warned them about this. I said, this is going to impact all of our constituents. They gave us the numbers. And some people just can't afford it now. Some people had to say, listen, I'm just not going to do it. This is literally life or death. So that's why it matters that we show up and vote. So I need y'all to get in, what y'all getting into? The group chat.
Okay. I'm just going to tell you up front because I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know much about healthcare and the premiums and how it works. But I will discuss with you about power, wealth, and influence when it comes to this president and who this president and who he is involved in. And the reasons why he has no one other than one person has been indicted. But that one person that's been indicted, I think her name is Maxwell. Hopefully nothing happens to her because she is a witness, believe it or not. No one's getting indicted. Between Trump, Eli, Bill Gates, all these individuals who are billionaires with a B, they're not going to be indicted. Nothing is going to happen to them. If anything, if it does happen, then someone either snitched or someone is in danger. Who do you think knows more about the other person? Donald Trump knows too much. He knows too much because he's seen too much. Think I'm wrong? Let me ask you this. Do you think the Epstein Island is the only island in existence when it comes to sex trafficking and what they call it, harvesting, sex trafficking, kidnapping, the harassment? I'm just going to say the harassment of those young girls. What do they call it when Nature Boy was what do they call it? I forgot what it was. But do you think that island was the only island? I mean, hell, you got school, you have churches, you have certain homes, community homes, who led to underground basements. You had to get them in there. You had to lure them somehow. You had to lure them in there somehow. Because he started off with a couple of underage kids luring other underage kids. If it was from a job in the music industry, or it was a job in the movie industry, or whatever, whatever, whatever. If you're an extra, if you're this, if you're that, how do you think these individuals have contracts and all this other stuff at early ages? How do you think? Why do you think parents were so anxious to give up their children to old ass dudes? All of it is sick. Hollywood's sick. Everything about this is sick. Everything about this is sickening. Jay-Z, Rihanna, need I say more? R. Kelly, Aaliyah, need I say more? Although it's still going on to this very day. The state of Nevada is secondary. Second. I don't know if California is first. California may be first. Nevada, the state of Nevada, is second when it comes to this whole trafficking thing. Hold your kids nice and tight because one one blink of an eye, one wrong move, one wrong turn, you will never see your kids again, whether it be a boy or a girl. They might just use your boy for harvesting. They might use your girls for sex trafficking. You never know. All those blood rituals, all those sacrifices, and I'm going to entrust you to my child. And see, this is the reason why I sympathize with certain parents who don't like to take their kids and leave them at such and such's house anymore. I mean, I get all that, right? It's like you meet some individuals like, hey, listen, so I want to stay over such and such's house. When I was growing up, we met their parents. My mom, because I was living with my mom at the time, because my dad was not around because he passed away. My mom met the parents. My mom met the parents, had a discussion with the parents, and it was all good. That was then, and it was fortunate then that now we're living in the times that we're living in. It's just downright evil. Back then, it was okay because you didn't have to deal with all that noise. Sure, there was some sickles around, but back in the 90s, in my teens when I was growing up, things seemed to be okay. It's not okay anymore. So I sympathize with grown people who say we keep to ourselves. I sympathize with the grown people who said that, yeah, this can't work. This can't work, and it's not going to work unless you've been knowing them for like years and years or whatever. Y'all go to the same church. Y'all know, hey, George knows Michael, or Dwayne, and Dwayne knows Jessica. Jessica knows this person. This person knows that person. If that's the case, then okay, fine, fine, do what you will. But some random stranger that you don't even know about, I'm gonna have my daughter do a sleepover just because she's best friends with your daughter? No, That's not going to work. I sympathize with that. There's too much going on here in America and overseas in other countries. There are also other countries involved in trafficking. How do you think they get shipped? How do you think they go back and forth? Do you not do you not listen to people like Jaguar Wright, who was in the industry, still is in the industry? She's been getting contracts since she was 15 years old. She knows what it's like. Hell, she was a victim of one of these people. Thank God her kids are all grown up, except for one who got, his life taken away. And my condolences to Jaguar, right? But yeah, going back to then nobody's gonna indict anybody because they get paid millions and millions of dollars not to. They get paid millions and millions of dollars to cover up that red tape and is bought off by the fucking gray. There is no injustices. There is no injustices. There is no justices for these survivors. There is no justices for these survivors. And the only way there's ever going to be any injustice if those seats flip. And this is why it's important for you all to go out and vote early. So we're going to see next week. We are definitely going to see next week. Now, if you do not believe in these things, which most of you or all of you should believe in these specific things when it comes to an endangerment of your children. If you don't listen to me, maybe you want to listen to a person who knows best.
A lot of us do this kind of documents, 2,000 videos. I'm gonna tell you something, Lou. I want black people to pay attention to the amount of power Donald Trump is illegally wielding because he's setting a precedent. After Donald Trump, the U.S. presidency will never be the same. You know why? Because people have seen this man go above and beyond his constitutionally provided job and see nothing done to him. So we are moving into an American empire loom where for those 8 years, the president can almost do whatever he wants. But let me throw this at you. A big reason why Donald Trump is not being held in check is because Donald Trump is a puppet for the Zionists. He's on the Epstein papers. And the Zionists will expose Donald Trump being involved in the Epstein scandal if he don't do exactly what they tell him. They got him by the balls. And guess what? They got the whole U.S. Congress by the balls. So they can't say nothing to Trump because guess what? We fund you, we fund you, we fund you. If you try to shut Trump down, we'll shut you down, cut off your money, and we'll expose the sexual rituals you've been involved in. Epstein was one of an entire cell of blackmail agents working for the Israeli Secret Service Mossad.
And a lot of people don't know about Mossad, and I kind of be quiet about. I know.
A lot of these things come full circle because there are more powerful influencers then we know. It just doesn't start with the Bilderbergs. It just doesn't start there. There are a number of families who sit across the tables and they have these debates, discussions. Barb, do you remember Ted Turner? Let me know if you remember Ted Turner, who was the owner of AT&T, TNT, right? He was the actual one that said that there were too many people. I don't know he's the one that said there were actually too many people on planet Earth, and it need to be. It wasn't just Bill Gates; it was Bill Turner too as well. Bill Gates said there were too many people on the planet Earth, and there wasn't enough room, and this is the reason why he was going into Africa, starting to the start of going into Africa and um, deleting at least 3 billion Africans. I'm like, number one, with all um, the slavery and all the hanging and the killing of thousands of African people, millions of African people, wasn't that enough? Not really. And people, of course, people in the United States. But my other thing about it is these people already have underground cities. Like Trick Willie said, let's talk about it. They already have underground cities, which most of them live amongst each other. They don't have to necessarily do everything. But the fact of the matter is that they're basically just dying out because they have only 1% melanin and that they can't produce anything. What do you think that they had Epstein doing? Epstein was impregnating all these women, and once they have the babies, they're trying to impregnate them again. And what's worse, you're trying to impregnate the baby so and drinking and taking their blood and everything and eating them and blah 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 blah. You're trying to get younger. You're trying to get stronger because your melanin don't work. Ours do. Why do you think they like fucking with black people all the time? I'll try to lower my cussing. So guess what they do? What did they do? You said so. Guess what they do? What did they do? I don't know what they do. Ted Turner. Yes, Ted Turner, the billionaire, of course, was the first person to say that there were too many people, or 7 billion people on the planet Earth, probably even more than that. And of course, let's break this down. You had HIV, that didn't quite work. You had Ebola, which that didn't quite work. Then you had West Nile, then That didn't quite work. You had this whole scared of COVID, which did work to a certain degree. It worked to a certain degree, but as my boy Eric July would say from Ripper Universe, as he would say, that particular type of COVID was more just like the flu. You know, it had a 99% of survival rate. This COVID coming down the street supposedly is coming from a bat and as spotted in places like Asian places like China and Russia. They say it's twice as worse than the first COVID. I don't know how true that is. And it said they don't have a cure for this. This is uncurable. And in depicting, it can get worse and worse and worse and worse. And we all know how the first COVID is. It all starts with the sense and the smell and the taste. You don't have taste buds, and your taste buds are gone. And then something is wrong with your throat. You can't breathe. You can't talk. And when I was in COVID, I had ammonia. And I had talked with Phil Valentine. Shouts out to Phil Valentine. Ashe, Ashe. That man said, "Do you know any black people who catch pneumonia?" And I said, "No." He's like, "Why?" Because technically it don't really exist amongst, I'm paraphrasing, it doesn't exist amongst black people, at least not that much. So he has the remedy, and I shouldn't have got it, but he told me to get some black seed oil, right? Told me to get some black seed oil, told me to get some zinc. I'm going to get some zinc. I haven't had zinc in a long time. A long time, fam. Zinc does work. Zinc does work. Stop eating red meat. Stop eating all these particular foods that it just doesn't set well for your body. Listen to your body, as you well know. You listen to your body. I'm a hardhead. I listen to my stomach and your intestines. Your intestines are that small. You're supposed to eat 1 meal a day, but we're all used to eating three meals a day and a snack, which that's not necessarily how the body works, and you wonder how most of us look all ballooned up. I gotta get in the gym and I gotta work this out. I concede that We-On-Loc have to go back, since we're all moved and we're all comfortable. I'm gonna have to find the gym, and I'm gonna have to put in this work. You know what I'm saying? But you had a series of a lot of this shit going on. It's all because of your melanin. Most of us live under 90%, 85%, 75%, even the light-skinned ones, right? The light-skinned ones have more of a chance of survival than white. That's why they want your melanin. That's why they want so bad your spleen, your liver, your kidneys, your heart, everything. And they are willing to take it from a child so they can live longer. They want to terminate your babies so they feel like they live longer. This is more like Stokely's vampire, some crazy stuff like that. We really need to be protective And we really need to be not just Jasmine. We really need to be protective, not just of Jasmine, because all that stuff is connected. All the stuff is connected. The money, the money, the Epstein files, all that shit, the names that have been redacted, all that shit is connected. But let me ask you this real quick before I move on. Do you think that the important people of today who are involved in this type of shit, do you think that they care? Do you think that they care if we citizens, us, the people on the bottom of the totem pole, know who they are? Just a question.
Know about this
Israel
stuff.
is the capital of the United States of America.
Wow, that's a strong statement, which
Israel
a lot of
is
people
the
share that opinion.
Israel
I think Candace Owens has also been kind of, speaking about a lot of that stuff, whether one way or
Wait, what did you say? I had a phenomenon when I was 5. I had a phenomenon when I was 5. It isn't common for any grown people to descend with decent health to catch pneumonia. To me it's rare. I'm just saying, to me it's rare that you catch pneumonia. It's very rare that you catch pneumonia. I have never in my life caught pneumonia, and I have never in my life I forgot what the doctors treat when if you want to deal with kids and they poke you and you're not supposed to scratch. I forgot what that was, right? But anyway, let's continue.
another. But there's a lot of people that is kind of waking up to what you're saying, man. That's coming.
And that's not new knowledge. I think a lot of people have already known that if you just knew the control.
But I think it's getting younger of the people that knows it, right? So I think at a certain age, maybe those people, but I'm seeing people 27 that's peddling some of this kind of
Here's
rhetoric.
the thing though, it don't matter no more.
Why not?
Because the elites, the satanic, pedophilic, elite white supremacist aristocracy of this planet have amassed so much power in military strength that they're almost ready to say, so what you know?
Yeah.
What can you do about it?
Yeah.
You see it with the Epstein files.
We finna get in it? Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah.
You see with that?
Yeah.
What did Kamala Cash Patel say? He said nobody's being prosecuted. Wait a minute though. Y'all just took down Sean Combs. Sean Combs is sitting in a prison doing 4 to 5 years for voluntary prostitution. He paid somebody to have sex and he's convicted in jail 4 to 5 years. Y'all have elites who have eaten babies, molested girls, sodomized boys, unalived victims, and nobody's going to be prosecuted, but Sean Combs is in jail. If I'm Puffy's team, we going back to court.
Yeah.
If I am Sean Puffy Combs, I want my case reopened because somebody is going to explain to me why I'm in jail for prostitution. But yet we got evidence of Trump. We got evidence of Bill Gates, allegedly, Elon Musk, allegedly, all these grand knights of white supremacy. Pictures, video, email. Nobody's even going to be investigated.
Real quick, this might be a little controversial. Just a little bit of controversy. Just a little bit. Let's start with Bill Cosby. Yeah, you know what? I hear you. 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 And there isn't no lesser evil than just wrong is wrong. I get it. You're thinking on a moral standpoint. Yeah, but let me get on the big screen. Let me get on the big screen because this might be a little controversial. Let me ask you something. Okay, let me ask you a question. Is listen, let's Bill Cosby was accused allegedly of giving quaaludes to all these women that back in the 70s and stuff like that. It's like whatever. People were doing drugs, were doing crack cocaine back in those days, right? And of course, 40 years later, he did it all because he wanted to own a network. All because he wanted to own a network. Does that seem crazy to you? Your head's think about it. Your head's getting a little bit too big. So we're going to have to put you down. Who's going to tell white people that? Who's going to tell these people? Who's going to tell Ted Turner if he did something like that he had to get put down? Nobody's going to tell Ted Turner to shut up. Nobody's going to tell Ted Turner to shut up, or else we're going to release you. We're going to put you on the Summer Jam screen. We're going to sacrifice you, but you're going to sacrifice Bill Cosby. Let's go even further. Sean Puffy Combs. Sean Puffy Combs is in jail for, I think, prostitution or something like that. We all know he beat up Cassie. That tape, what I was told by who's the dude that got beat? Look, Tate, Andrew Tate, who thought he was in shape, got his ass whooped, but that was the most awkward fight I've ever seen in my life. But either way, he says that tape was from previous years ago. It just then got released. But they were already together. They were still together. How do you know if Puffy or Diddy or whoever what he calls himself, how do you think he don't own that? You don't think he didn't own that building? You think he didn't own that hotel? He had already called down. He had already called down. You obviously think if you were in a hotel and if you were in danger, don't you think security would have been up there by now? By at that particular time? Yes, but that was his building. Sex trafficking, whatever you would call it. Yeah, but his how do I say it? Saving grace would be because he wanted to own his own liquor company. I don't condone violence. I don't condone none of the shit that's been happening. Wrong is wrong. If you did the crime, you got to do the time. But his saving grace is because he wanted to own his own liquor company and he was going to sue for millions and millions of dollars. And but you have a particular person who is selling all these girls to the highest bidder. It wasn't just Maxwell that did it. There were others involved. Question: how many of you think Epstein is still alive or dead? Now it may be true. I would say it would. I will go on a limb and say that it's 90% true that the cameras, or at least one of them, were activated, and the rest of them just happened to simultaneously click off in half of a minute, and then cut back on, and all of a sudden he's dead. Cash Mattel was, I guess he was at the trial. He was being investigated or whatever. I'm losing focus with all this crap. And one of the people that asked him, it was stated that Epstein killed himself. And it said, yeah, that statement had been true. And he said, yeah. He said, do you have the records of those? And when can we see them? Cash Mattel, paraphrasing, says, it's still in the works. You're not going to get 100% of those Epstein files. You're simply not going to get it. You're simply not going to get 100% of anything. I said before, you're not going to get 100% of the Epstein files. You're not going to get 100% of the Martin Luther King files. It's just not going to happen. Why? Because you are going to collapse Wall Street. You are simply, how you doing? You are simply going to collapse Wall Street. You are simply going to collapse all the riches that these billionaires, and there are a list. You would be surprised. I would not be surprised if Clarence Thomas would be on that goddamn list. I would not be surprised if he is on the fucking list. I wouldn't be shocked at all. But then again, he's been cooling for so long. My only importance of this is, how are the survivors? They're not victims anymore. How are these survivors going to get any justice? They're not. They're simply not, unless those seats turn blue. But check this out. This is not to scare anyone. This is not to intimidate anyone. But as E5 put it, and anybody else would tell you, who controls Congress? Who controls the Senate? Who controls the presidency? The three branches of government. Who controls those? The people who were bought, paid, and sold this country a long time ago. Even George Carlin would tell you that. May he rest in power. May he rest in peace. A white man absolutely telling you that politicians only there to succeed any and everything that you do mentally because you feel that you have the freedom of choice. You don't have a choice because you have owners. And like I said, there are families. It's not just one family. It's not just the Bilderbergs. It's plenty of those. Ted Turner's involved in that too, believe it or not. They just gather up in one little spot and they make a decision on your fate. That's why you have wars. And woo. I'm just asking. I'm just saying. Some of these black celebrities, like I said, I don't. Do you think Puffy should get a second chance? Do you think R. Kelly should get a second chance? I'm just asking. I'm asking. Cause y'all, come on, y'all. Y'all still listen to R. Kelly? Come on, y'all. R. Kelly come on Spotify all the damn time. What if I told you Usher was involved? Oops. What if I told you Justin Bieber was involved? Oops. This ain't new. Snoop Dogg, this ain't new. Pusha T. 50 Cent. Duh, come on. I mean, I can go down the list if you like. Nicki Minaj. Duh. But those are the first people. And the person who ain't saying much right now, I'll give you a hint. He believes he's Jesus. I'll give you a hint. The person who is keeping quiet the most, he thinks he's Jesus. Who do you think I'm talking about? Who do you think I'm talking about?
But I'm in jail for voluntarily paying somebody to have voluntary sex. If I'm Puff, I'm going back to.
No, for sure.
But here's the thing, Loon. That's why they convicted Puffy first. See, the reason Kelly Cosby and got rolled out and convicted before Epstein because the white power structure needed to give the American people something to chew on. Remember, we let the Roman Catholic Church off the hook. We had to let the Roman Catholic Church off the hook because the Vatican is in bed with the Zionists. Remember, the Zionists loaned the Vatican a big loan in 1832, the year after the Nat Turner Revolt. So the Vatican is in debt to the Zionists. They in bed. And remember, the royal crown is in bed with the Zionists because the Balfour Declaration of 1917, when the British said that the Israelis, the Zionists, need a home of their own. Remember, it was the British and the Americans who backed Israel. See that? So they're in bed with them. And some people would argue that the Zionists have been interbreeding with the British royal family for generations. So three groups that people think don't mess with each other: Catholics, Jews, British. They all the same. R. Kelly. We're going to give you Bill Cosby. We're going to give you Sean Combs. So by the time we get around to Epstein, your appetite will already be a little filled. At least you saw some justice.
Yes.
And then we're going to let Kamala Cash Patel tell you to your face, we ain't going after nobody.
And the funny thing about it is,
Balloon, we're going to give you 3.5 million files to look at.
That's what I'm saying.
We're going to give you 2,000 videos to look at. We're going to give you 180,000 photos to look at. And after you get all mad, we're going to give y'all the middle finger and say nobody's being prosecuted.
That's crazy.
So what y'all know?
But do you also know Cash Patel's position prior to getting on as FBI director?
What?
He was one of the main people put with the flag of release the Epstein files. They all should be held accountable. Yeah, he was.
Surprised, hypocrite. But Pam Bondi got to get most of the smoke because she's the attorney general. She's Cash Patel's boss. You see what I'm saying? But here's the thing: Donald Trump.
You say that Israel is not the true Jews. Um, I would safely say I will concede to that until I have further evidence that they are the true Jews. Because he's talking about the Khazars, right? I don't know. There's a fight right now, and there are there are white Jews and then there are black Jews. That's most of what I know. But I will say this: there has to be somebody. There has to be somebody who apparently owns and controls the United States of America. That's all I know. Through your TVs, through your movies, TV shows, aka Medea, aka Medea, aka all your black shows, all your white shows, all your movie industries. Jesus was not a white man. You damn right he wasn't. Well, let me not say it in that way. You doggone right he wasn't white. You doggone right he wasn't white. How can a white man have hair like wool and the feet the color of breasts? You're talking about hair like wool. Ha. I don't know Jesus walking around having straight hair. Bah. Who you want to ask a question? You want to ask me? You want to ask who you want to ask a question to? I already put the link up there. Uh-oh. Oh, I'm in trouble.
That
I'm in
was
trouble.
good. No, you're not. I just wanted to ask you a question or two, and then I'm actually doing my hair because I'm supposed to go out tomorrow. So I'm trying to get ready. Yeah. Oh, child, I think I'm coming down with a cold too. But I wanted to ask you about the Dr. Umar Mary Ant situation. I did find out that I think she did lie. What do you think about it?
She got what she got coming. I'll be
Right.
perfectly.
I'm
But
gonna
I
let it.
wouldn't. But here's the thing. I quit all that shit a long time ago because people been lying on him for years, except for that whole set. What do you call it? This content stripper thing or whatever. I say, he's a grown man. I don't go into his bedroom. Um, the whole Marianne thing, that was her idea. No one told her to go into his bag and found what she found. No one told him or her rather to start filming. If you knew who he was. You knew who he was from the very beginning, and yet you proceeded to do the things that you did. Now, as far as that check is concerned, he didn't sign off on it. And I knew it was fake. She signed up on that shit. I said to them a long time ago, I said, present the evidence. Now he's
Well,
presenting the evidence to Lennon, and look where it got her. And so now he's getting in her ass, which is wrong. But I just stopped doing it because it's not even worth it.
I agree
It's not
with
worth
you.
it.
You're 100% right. And I wish that I had I always listen to you, but I agree with you. So I think that I always listen to people really well, and I think there was a little bit of truth and obviously some lies coming from her. But it's the way she handled it. Like when you mess up, people will respect you more if you apologize. And she continued to just blame Honor, even though Honor was wrong. I'm not gonna lie. This is why I say that he's wrong also. I kind of agree, but like with her, far as okay, you sent me an email, give me a chance to respond. But the truth is, he doesn't owe her that. She's not friends with him, and she needs to understand that these people are not her friends. You didn't know Honor enough to trust him. Another thing, but why I say he is wrong. Lennon Honor has a huge platform. So when you have that type of platform, I don't think it's right because I really do see it as bullying when you got that many people in the chat room saying certain things, and this woman is not she's not very experienced with YouTube like that. You know, I'm
No,
not gonna
it
unsubscribe. I am
doesn't
not
matter.
gonna. What you say, sweetie?
I said it doesn't matter when you put yourself in again. She put herself in that position when she allegedly went to court and sued Umar for however much money, which was a bunch of bullshit. She put
Well,
herself in that position.
right. I'm not saying she's
And
right.
and as far as let me tell you the important thing. The important thing is this: Lennon is not your friend. Never
Right.
was, never will be. Because this is not the first person that he has done this to. He has done this
Mhm.
to another female who had way more subscribers than he did at one
Mhm.
point. Now he's the big dog on that sector,
Mhm.
which no one pays attention to.
No, I agree.
Everybody.
I agree with you. I do. I
Mhm.
see it now. I didn't see it in the very beginning, but I definitely see it because that was dirty. I would never just strike up a live saying calling somebody a liar. Like those are insulting words. And then not give them an opportunity. I would first give them an opportunity to talk to me behind the scenes. I just think it's common courtesy. So that to me, that made him look bad, but he's got a whole crew over there. They're going to support him no matter what he says. So it doesn't matter. You're right. It does not matter.
Yeah, and now it seems like everyone wants to be in the mix.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
Everyone. Yeah. And I'm looking at it like you don't have a stake in that. You don't have a stake in that. But then I go back, I pull back and I go, quite interesting.
Well, it's
That
just
will
content, and like for me, it's nothing personal. When I do my reviews, I swear to you, it's not personal. I don't take jack squat personal on here when I'm doing reviews on people. So it's just content, and it'll move on to something else by probably very soon.
as he stated, and these are his words, Lennon's words. He can do this for 30 days.
Yeah, I didn't
He
like
can
that.
do
I did not like that. Yeah, he did.
because
He
he does
did.
need the money. He
And
does
let me
need
say,
the
can
money.
I say, I'm so glad you said that. I'm glad you said that because that's the part that kind of raised my eyebrows because this is the thing. You've got way more subscribers. And he told a lot of lies. I've been subscribed from her. I was one of the first people to find her channel. I was literally, when I found her channel, I don't think she had 50 subscribers. I let you know. I was one of the first people to find her channel. And then maybe a week later, I finally announced.
How many did he have?
When I first found her, she had like 50 or let. Like I was one of the first people to see the movie, to watch the movie, and then we all shared it. But she had up to 500 and 5,500, but after this she dropped down to like 5,300 and something. But let me tell you, when he did that, he was basically telling people to unsubscribe from her. Like, I don't give a damn how mad I am at somebody. I would never tell people to unsubscribe. Like, I thought that was dirty. Then he said, and that's how you know those are not good people in his chat room because that's some dirty work. Okay, you found out she lied. Leave it at that. Just call her a liar and let people do what they want to do. But when he said for people to unsubscribe and he started trying to make it seem like she's the worst thing on the planet, like, no, we all make mistakes. She made a heart. She what she did was fucked up. And I wish she would be more accountable. I'm not gonna lie, I'm disappointed in her, but at the same time, his shit, his listen, we're not gonna pretend that he's innocent. Nobody on YouTube is innocent. And I also, when he did something else that pissed me off. Oh yeah, he was like, "Oh, I can make contact out of this for 30 days." But oh, excuse me, I thought you just said you were going to just do this one scream and leave it alone. And then this is the thing that pissed me
Like
off.
for his neighbor.
But listen to this. Listen to this. He said, We-On-Loc. He said that he got her blocked from his channel and everything. But you're going to continue to talk about her every day. That's bullying. That's harassment and bullying. See, she don't know that.
What do you think he does every day?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
What do you think he does? He has no other content.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
He's used to doing that with less subscribership, but of course there's some things that particularly happen along the way to get his little subscribership up, and then of course each and every single thing that Umar does, he just gets off on it. But like I said, with her, I released her. This is like, you do what you do. Hopefully this is not gonna, this is karma. This is just karma.
It's karma. It is. I agree.
I wouldn't, but you did mention it's like she is elderly. He don't give a rat's ass. He don't give a shit. He'll do this to his own. He'll do this to his own fucking daughter if he had the opportunity to teach her a lesson. And you go ahead and apologize now. You go ahead and apologize, and we won't do this again.
See, he comes off to people likable because he's a family man and he's protecting his family and his wife. But then he, like I said, when he did that and he told everybody to unsubscribe from her, I didn't like that. Well, sweetheart, I'm gonna be in the chat. I've got like 5 live streams up, but I am listening to you. I'm doing my hair, so I'll just listen to you for a little while longer, and I'll see you tomorrow, okay?
All right, sweetheart.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be here.
Okay. I don't give a fat ass how old she is. None of them Negroes on the Umar sector care either. This is content to them. What do you think they did to me? For the last I think it was like a week and a half or something like that. And I could have retaliated, but I said, lesson learned, unlearn what you have learned. I stopped myself and I said, this could go 2 different ways. Number 1 and number 2. In her case, she kept going because she thought she can just go ahead and get comfortable with the system and get comfortable with people and all, yada, 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 yada. It's no different from Marianne, or not Mary, Carrie. No different from Carrie. And look where it got you. But I don't want to talk about Carrie. I don't want to talk about none of them trick bags over there in the dead Umar sector. That sector's dead. You just get new people just arriving and just talking shit the whole entire time. No substance, no morals, no nothing. Nothing at all. I'm glad I left. One person, I want to give a shout out to T Pre. I want to definitely give a shout out to T Pre, and I definitely want to give a shout out to a person who will be named nameless. Y'all the ones that said get out. So I got the fuck out, and I'm glad I did. You know, sidebar, Trish goes, of all the shit that's going on in that particular sector, I am so glad you're not in that sector anymore. I said, you damn right I ain't in that sector anymore. Y'all see, there's a bunch of clowns. We're talking about just moving on from things and you just doxing and doxing and doxing, and this is how families get hurt. You don't give a shit. You don't give a shit. So she caught her demise, unfortunately. I mean, I wish the best for her, but just the same way. Well, I don't wish the exact same thing with Mrs. Throatgoat, because Mrs. Throatgoat found out that F around and find out you lost the court case against Ifa Tunde. How does it feel? All of a sudden, he's just because you lost the court case against him, all of a sudden he's gay. Well, no, we ain't falling for that, boo boo. We ain't falling for that. We don't falling for the banana in the tailpipe. Nope. Yeah, nope. All right, on to other things that are way more important than jibber jabber.
Is scared because he's implicated in that. You feel me? My opinion. If you do everything we need you to do, you're gonna be fine. The reason they not releasing all the files at once,
Yeah.
so they're only giving you at a time because they can't miss none of the big names, right? So they remember when they first dropped the files, did you know that there was a download all button? There was a button you could hit and get them all downloaded on your computer. Guess what they did? They went back in. You got to go through each file.
It's those little things.
You see that? Who gonna do that for $3.5 million? Loon? You could pay. How long? If you paid somebody to do that, I wonder how long it would take for them to download. You feel me? 3.5 million documents, 2,000 videos, 1,800 pictures, 180,000 pictures. You see that? And here's the thing. They said we've only been given 1% of the information. And Loon, if they gave you this is your first 1%. We give you this. This must be the softest information in the file.
Trimmed off the top.
Yeah. So if we gave you this, and this is easy, imagine what's in them papers, bro.
Yeah.
Loon, you'll never get the list because it is a who's who of white supremacy. Bill Gates is in the paperwork asking Epstein to get him some STD medicine because he think he gave it to his wife. He got burnt by one of them chicks, probably a child they molested allegedly. He gave it to his wife. So he telling Epstein, look, homie, this is some around the way. These billionaires.
Yeah, on some regular shit.
This is what you get in the hood.
Yes.
These billionaires.
Yeah.
I need you to slip me some amoxicillin, some doxycycline, so I can put it in my wife's drink because I think I might have gave her the clap.
God damn it.
And I'm like the third richest man in the world.
Ain't that crazy?
Elon Musk begging to go to a party. Them emails.
I seen that.
Listen, the world
allegedly,
the world is ran by a cabal of about 300 different personalities and corporations. The Bilderberg is what I want everybody to research. Bilderberg. The group is named after the hotel where they first met in 1954, Hotel de Bilderberg. They meet once every other year, Loon. They come together to dictate the global agenda for the next 2 years. They decide who's going to be the president, who's going to be FBI director. They decide on the next COVID outbreak, AIDS, war, everything. It's about 300 of them. People need to really study them because they decided Obama was going to be president. They choose everything.
There's more than one group too. There's like
right, but they all come together.
Right, yeah, for sure.
White supremacy, they're supremely organized, right? So it's more than one group, 300, right? But they all go to and it's different meetings. It ain't just the Bilderberg, but that's one of the most critical ones. You can't miss that.
Yes.
That's elite. Bill Gates didn't get invited to his first Bilderberg meeting like 10 years ago. Remember, he's been a billionaire for years. He just got
it. Ain't the money.
You see, because once you make it to the Bilderberg, you basically
it's for life now.
Immune.
Yeah, it's for life.
Nobody's going to jail. Cash, but you just threw Puffy in jail. Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, and you got smoking gun evidence. He said nobody going to jail.
Ain't that crazy?
They gave you Cosby, Combs, and Kelly to dissuade because they knew this was coming.
With them releasing so many files, what do we believe and what do we ignore? Is there anything in there that should be ignored? Because my understanding is that some of what we're hearing in the allegations come from a quote unquote tip line, the same kind of line they had for Diddy.
Right. But
what position do you take on
So, for example, Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, who probably is the greatest in American history. The information on him came from an unrelated tip. Allegedly, Supreme Court Justice Uncle Tom Clarence Thomas fondled a 45-year-old girl in a church. That was the tip. Another tip, allegedly, was that Sean Carter and Pusha T were near Harvey Weinstein somewhere on a given day, and Harvey Weinstein either SA'd or attempted to SA somebody in their presence. Those are just tips. No follow through, no arrests, no charges, no nothing. You can't do nothing with them. They could be fake, they could be real. They're unrelated to Epstein. They just end up in that file because they collected everything.
I don't understand how they end up in the file if they're unrelated to Epstein.
Same thing. But when I looked into it, it seemed as if they were saying that anything from the time period that involves celebrities or men of stature in inappropriate sexual conduct got sucked into it.
See, this is why I think they're confusing the public.
And to make other notes, anybody who gets raped or gets shot in the ass, that's mainly you're in the door. AKA two-armed fool Wesley Snipes, AKA I'm gonna shoot you in the ass. Training Day, Denzel Washington. It's all the same. I'm not saying that they're involved in anything, but nowadays I go, what the hell? I'm expecting Denzel's name popped up. No, I don't want. No, I don't want to do that. He just turned preacher like a couple of months ago. I was sad to hear Jamie Foxx's name, and I was like, wait a minute. So that's the reason why he was gone this long? Someone literally tried to kill him. Someone literally tried to kill Jamie Foxx. Patti LaBelle. This is never going to go away from me. I've been hearing Patti LaBelle for years. You can't tell me anything. I had to get rid of my records. I had Patti LaBelle records, the old records from the 70s. I had to give away because your name was incriminated in the Epstein file. It's just sad. Barnum Grove. I don't know who this person is. Wouldn't hurt to look him up. Wouldn't hurt to look him up at all. They protect the place like Fox. Fox? I never heard of that in one either. Never heard of that one either. Well, hey, look. Like I said, when it comes to this, I mean, of course, try not to go down the route of the whole FBA thing now that we're switching gears. we're just gonna go straight DAFA. And DAFA only, and this is a DAFA movement where we don't incriminate, we don't massacre, and we don't talk shit amongst people who look like you but speak a different language, who are from the diaspora, and you proclaim that they have everything. So you don't believe, and this is what FBAs believe. This is what FBAs truly believe. They believe that if you trace your lineages from your mama's side and your daddy's side all the way back to the 1800s, and basically with no immigrants. So you mean to tell me if I go through your family tree, nigga, and you have on one side, your mama's side may not have any immigrants, but your daddy got immigrants on his side of the tree, whether it be blood related or not. You mean to tell me you don't have immigrants in your family? Nigga, please. They ain't got nothing of substance of movement. And plus that it's not even a movement. It's just it's a lineage. The code protects us. The code is going to give us reparations. The code. Okay, you can keep your code and I'll keep the law. The law is the only thing that's going to permit, is the only thing that's going to get me what I need: protection. You are not protected. You're not. You don't have nothing of substance. You don't own and control shit. But yet you want to go after a person who wants to have his own movement, per se. So we won't be so separated from each other that you want to come up out your false perspectives, and you're just downright just crazy. You're just downright insane. It's like we don't need to be speaking with no Africans. We don't need to be speaking with no tether. So you want to lessen yourself? Is that what you're saying? No, we just want to be over here. And while you're over there, you're missing the boat. When Marcus Garvey started that the red, black, and green flag, the RBG flag, the purpose was to get all together, all as one, to fight the glorious fight and be competitive towards your competitors, which were white folks at the time. I don't know where that came from. Sorry about that. But people don't want to you don't want to get along because you feel that you're being duped out of a cash payment, which you're not getting. Because number one, they already know you're damn right. They do know who you are now. Very divisive, very just mean spirited. Let's just put it that way. And you have no representative. You have no representative. He's far off while you're on the internet getting all these, super chats and clicks and views and everything. You got Donald Trump, who's getting billions and billions of dollars. That's your reparations right there. And do you think that Donald Trump since you glazing Donald Trump so much, Tariq, since you're glazing Donald Trump so much, do you honestly think that Donald Trump is going to sign your reparation papers in a cash payment of, let's just say, 7 million people, like, God, that's 40 million, 43 million blacks, cash payment up to $1.3 trillion. Do you obviously think he's going to sign that piece of paper? Hell no. Do you think he's going to give you anything of substance? Hell no. I mean, you can probably bow down and kiss his orange ass, and he might just give you a pat on the head. Good boy. And y'all all say the same thing. Why y'all going against us? Why are you going against the foundation of black Americans? Well, why y'all going against us? We don't want anything to do with you. You keep attacking us. Nigga, nobody knows you. This is the same old dead circle. The same old, this is just going around in a circle. They're attacking us. They're attacking us. Nigga, get the fuck out of here. Nobody is attacking you. Nobody wants you. You're steadily attacking immigrants. And by the way, if you when you main immigrants, pick a side. What immigrants specifically are you talking about? There's African immigrants, Asian immigrants, Hispanic immigrants. Who are you talking about? Of course, when you say tether, you know tether means stolen, right? So you're saying that people from the diaspora, the people who are already here, who've been here for many, many years, you're on them because of what? Their daddy was Jamaican and their mother was American, or it could be their mother was Haitian and their father was American, or it could be a combination of both. You got Jamaican and Haitian, but you were born here in America. We need to pick the people out who ain't lineages. I got something for you in your lineage. I got something for you in your lineages. Something my ass cracked. But anyway. And then, of course, you pick and choose. You nitpick at one person. You nitpick one person, play a video clip at one person calling you a dirty black American. So you take that one person and you put it where everybody else is at, and now the whole circle's dirty. One bad apple spoiling the bunch. As if that were the right thing to do. And so they had a group, and so these people had like a group chat or something. I don't know if it was a panel or a group chat. And so they were discussing who's more believable. Would it be Dr. Ifa Tunde or would it be Tariq Nasheed? It was just a complete cluster, you know what, across the board. One side of it, they were cheering on Tariq and his ex-pimp persona. And then, of course, people were disrespecting Ifa Tunde and his school, which is going to be ready pretty soon. He just has to pass the inspection. I haven't heard any updates yet. But let's just say he does open up the school. Then what? Since everybody wants to open their fucking mouth to it, if he opens up the school, then what? So everybody was there are those who were in defense of Umar, and there were those in defense of Tariq, and then everybody else was, I don't like neither one of them mother, which I would prefer you say that. I don't like neither one of them because one's a grifter and the other one's another grifter. They're both grifters. And then of course Brandon comes on and I just think Brandon's full of shit in my eyes because you was glazing Umar the entire time. Nigga. Come on, bro. But I will agree with you on this. The movement, the FBA movement, not gonna last very long because you don't do anything. You don't do anything of substance. I have more respect for Adolfs than anything else because they don't go around shouting that hooting and hollering and all that other dumb shit. Even Yvette Cornell, she does have a mouth, but at least I could talk to Adolfs. I have a friend of mine who used to come on the panel a lot. She's Adolfs. We can have a conversation, which leads me to my question. Who do you feel comfortable speaking or having a conversation? And they all say, "Ooh," and they always throw this little thing at you, and just throwing shit at the wall and making it stick. You know you can talk about us all you want. You know you FBA. You FBA. You just don't want to be FBA. It's like, nigga, you have nowhere to go. You have nowhere to go. You're lost in the sauce. You're the lowest of the total pole. Why don't you just stick to Pan African? Pan African just means global. It doesn't mean anything else. Hold on, y'all.
Purpose, even.
I believe that.
Because you trim it down and give us the Epstein files. Mm-hmm. If some of this shit is tips and things that you would say is unsubstantiated, keep it out of what you're calling the Epstein files.
They don't want to keep it out. They want it in for the reason you just said, because they know the American people are hypnotized by sensationalism. So if I drop Jay-Z name, y'all will run with Jay-Z name and forget about Bill Gates.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So yes, they're doing that on purpose.
What do you think Jay-Z's recourse could be, should be, and how you think?
To keep quiet because you ain't brought nothing. They're like if somebody accused you of something, you ain't been charged, you ain't been arrested, ain't been no investigation, there's nobody saying you did it. Think about it. You don't even have the victim on record. You see that? You do not.
But we look at the Epstein files, and it is a historical catastrophic event. It's something that when you look when you go 100 years from now, the Epstein files is going to mean something, especially for a black man like Jay-Z. It's going to be even weaponized different for Jay than it is for even some of the other counterparts.
Right, but he's not in the file per se.
But that's for people like you that knows that.
Right.
But from a salacious headline perspective.
I see what you're saying. The average person don't even know that he's not in the file.
Exactly.
This was an unrelated tip, which is an unrelated, unsubstantiated tip. Here's what I want to say.
Ain't no difference. She asked, what's the difference between ADOS and FBA? There ain't no difference. Both of them have the American theme to it. They both believe they're from America, which means they left their Africanity a long time ago. They don't believe that the ancestry is in Africa. You don't have to necessarily be born in Africa. You probably have ancestors who were born in Africa. It's a damn shame that you just run away from who you are. It's just a damn shame. You have the same features, not features. You have this. You just look just. It's almost like if I had time, I'd show you a picture of the statue with the face depicted of a brother with a face with a big nose, big lips. What do we have? Big nose, big lips. What did Ephah Hotep have? Well, not Ephah Hotep. What did Hotep have? Big nose and big lips. Why do you think his nose was chopped off by Napoleon? You just want to run away from. You just want to run away from some shit that, quite frankly, if Trump wanted to, he can get rid of all of you. Where would you go then? Oh, you just scared of you just scared of us. You just scared of me. Nigga, you ain't nothing but the Klan. No one cares about you. You just trapped in your own little corner. No one wants to pay. No one wants anything to do with FBA. Nothing. And this is why I had the Dharma, which I do agree to. We welcome people in to have the conversation. The only difference is we're not going to call you out by name. You pretend not to be violent, but your words travel. Your words do hurt. If you want to have the discussion, why can't we just have discussion in mass for you? But it's always a trigger. It's a trigger, and it's all because of your fearless leader. While he's sitting up high in his mansion and his BMW, which he probably upgraded, he doesn't care anything. He doesn't care nothing about you. It again, anything that works, anything that makes money, he's going to gravel to. If he has to call you a tether 2 million times for him to make money, then he's going to do that. Versus a person who has a building, who's been working on it for 7 years straight, looks good. The inside looks good. The inside of the small gymnasium looks good. Looks pretty tight. I want to definitely play basketball in that. Everything was great. I don't know about the water. I assume that the water is right up to par. I'm sure the electricity is up to par. And you was complaining about the seal tilings. The seal tilings are back where they are. They're back where they should be. And like I stated, when the school does open, then what? And by the way, there was a Pacific Joker who I'm not going to give any type of notoriety to. It's not going to even matter. He goes, after after Ephah, of course, makes a statement, he had some shirt on. He had some type of red, green. He had a red, green, and white, like flannel shirt or something. And he was outside and he had a ginger ale. And he was pouring ginger ale on the ground for the ancestors to drink up or whatever. And this guy here was doing a video on that very same theme. And he goes, when Umar says that once this school opens, the Amy Garvey, I forgot what he said. Amy Garvey, something. I got for that degree. Basically, the girls' school is going to up within a couple of years. He goes, the school's going to open in a couple of years, meaning the small school that's already been renovated. It's going to open up in a couple of years. Man, you need to stop giving the money, man. You need to stop giving the money, man. Man, he a grifter. Man, he foul. Man, he this, he that. I'm like, fool. He's talking about the girls' school. The school that's renovated, that was supposed to be for black boys, but again, he's going by the system, and he doesn't want to get sued for anything, because you're going to have to let the boys and the girl, mainly, I don't know how the state works. I don't know how the state works in Wilmington, but if I'm ownership, I can have whoever the hell I want. This is the system. No. If I own the land per se, and if I build my school on top of the land that I purchase, I can have whoever the hell I want in my school. If I want an all girls school, which I won't, unless my sister helps me, I'm going to have an all girls school. If I have an all boys school, then I have an all black boys school, which we should have, because you have Asian schools in America. Duh. But you have no problems with Asians having their own schools in America. But let a black man have his own school with just black boys. You're going to flip your fucking wigs. Which is okay, which is quite okay. It's the hypocrisy, I call it hypocrisy per se. It's all of this bullshit. It's just bullshit. See, there we go. It's illegal to have an all black school. But yet again, you have an all black Asian school here in the United States, in different cities and different states, where they have mostly China and Asian town. So can we prosecute them? See? It's bullshit. It's all bullshit. That's why America has so many fucking America ain't America. But if I tell you I hate America, then you'll have some stupid. I'm not gonna mention his name. He said, why don't you get out of here? Get out of my country. Bitch, you didn't pay for it. You don't pay for it and you don't own it. As a matter of fact, why don't you go back to England? Why don't you go back to Europe? The place where it was poisoned. All your famine and all your diseases came from Europe. Goofy. It's illegal to reject a person based on race. You're going on a America perspective. I'm going on an African perspective. But again, if I own the land, I own the rights. So you can't tell me what to do. Doesn't matter where I'm at. You can't tell me what to do. If I have owner of land that, and if I build upon that, and if I settle with the state, you can't tell me what to do. But Umar does not own, he owns the building, he doesn't own the land there. Because the land is just too much money. But again, if he built it, but Negroes was just hobbity, where's my money? Where's my money? Where's my money? Where's my money? He didn't pick a school, he's a scammer. He didn't pick a school, he didn't pick a school. And then finally when he picked the school, it's like, what's this dump? It's like we can't satisfy. Black people cannot be satisfied. Not all, some. You got these people who can't even be satisfied with what they get. But I do appreciate the elders. I appreciate the elders who have been supportive of Umar. I have nothing but love and respect for those individuals who aided, and especially from the diaspora, especially from those people who, when he traveled to specific places in Africa, they respect him. And of course, they have aided him upon this journey, which is about to come to a halt pretty small. It's going to come to, needless to say, the school's going to open. But it just has to pass inspection. It has to pass final inspection. We're going to see what it do. And when it passes final inspection, he can put in the smaller things, right? It can be open to the public, but that'll be on him. Right now, it's not open to the public.
This is not news to those of us that society, government, global life premise. Always know Satan is new. I want people to understand of many locations in this country where these activities take place, Loon. The Epstein Island is the grand mansion of white supremacist aristocratic pedophilia.
I don't think you know how law
If you're
works.
black, you may never get invited there. This is the elite of that's the grand mansion.
1% or 1%.
Royal palace.
Yes.
But guess what? They have a space that's in Tennessee, hypothetically.
Right.
They have a space in Cali. They have a space in
And
Texas.
it's just their space.
Absolutely. They got ranches all over this country,
Yes.
underground bases and everything.
Yes.
It's just that's the Grand Canyon. So my thing with people, don't get tied to Epstein Island. That's only one cell of many.
And I don't think people are tied to it. I think people do view it like moving, living. Like Epstein filed in it's not dead when Epstein died.
Exactly. If he's dead, that he is. Remember now, Epstein gets arrested at the year before Donald Trump's final year of his first term. So he gets arrested during Donald Trump's third year of his first term. Remember, and this is in the files, he didn't really care for Trump. Remember, Epstein is a Mossad intelligence agent whose job is to get blackmail files on every major player in global politics so they can use it against them to make them conform to the Israeli agenda, right? So he don't care for these people. He's just doing his job. Trump somehow found out Epstein don't like him, allegedly, and he had him arrested so he couldn't interfere with his election.
I would say more or less it had to do with Donald Trump again being very selective. And of course, Epstein was messing with some underage chicks that Donald Trump allegedly liked. And it went downhill from there. So Nitpick, 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 nitpick. It's all disgusting anyway. All of it's disgusting. All of it.
Boy, that was a good one.
See that? He got arrested right before election year because Trump somehow suspected that if this stuff come out on the campaign trail, I'm done. So let me get rid of this guy. I don't believe, here's the reason I don't think Epstein is gone. He's an eyewitness to too many other people's wrongdoings. If I got to take down Trump, if I got to take down Bill Gates, if Elon Musk get out of hand, you feel me? He can testify as to what they did because he set it up.
Right.
He can be given, right, what they call it, immunity. Yes. So why would you get rid of a man who could testify on almost any member of the white aristocracy in the world?
Well, I can argue that's why you get rid of him. It's because he can testify against everyone, and he has all of that information.
But if you feel that there's weak links in a committee of 300, and you might want to embarrass and expose one publicly, you need somebody who can be a witness to what they did. In other words, Jeffrey Epstein is so low on the totem pole. He's a mule.
Disposable.
He's not a play. He's a mule.
Yeah.
He's a go-between.
Right.
You need them for some things. You see what I'm saying?
But he got himself too hot. He got himself too radioactive.
I don't think he gets hot if they don't want him to get hot. I believe they gave us Jeffrey Epstein to make us think that
Common sense answer. No, it's common sense wise, you don't know how law works. If you come into my house without my permission and you start stealing everything, I beat the living crap out of you. You can sue me for me beating the living crap out of you, and you're going to win. Because number one, I did not use self-defense. I used action. That's how things work in the bear. What the whole said was common sense to Umar's question. That's what why did you say that in the first place, Barb? Sheesh.
They gave us Epstein to take some of the air out the bag. You follow me? Let's give them
But if it's as dangerous as you're saying, I think they're playing with fire. But they always control how much they give you when they.
Nobody's strong enough to do anything to them.
Right. That's what's scary.
They own the military. You got to remember, we talking about people who got their own private military.
Right.
Everybody at that Bill Gates got his own military, man. Bill Gates could pick up a phone and have 1,000 guns in 5 minutes, man. They don't care.
Bro, I'm in some of these neighborhoods with some of my really, really rich buddies. And some of these houses got like 3 and 4 and 5 guards, like guarding the house at all times, like on some small military hand, like on some, on the post.
So let me give you this. You know, Israel has right of return, right? Any Jew in the world,
right of return,
even if you're accused of sex abuse, that's what they use it for.
Study that.
What do any Jewish parents, what do? They assume their right of return and they move back to Israel alone. There's been stories done on that the Jewish government will not extradite to America. You hear that? Because they have a right of return. You mean to tell me Jeffrey Epstein would not have activated his right of return before they came and arrested him? No way. Loon, there's no way you're going to tell me an intelligence agent for Mossad could not have gotten out of America and gotten back to Israel. Right. I don't think he's dead. I don't think
he's dead either. But people said the same thing about Tupac, and not comparing the two. I'm just making a statement. But I want to say something real quick about the whole Marianne thing. don't really care. I mean, again, they're gonna make fun of her. This they're gonna do this for weeks and weeks and weeks, apparently, because this is what she signed up for. I mean, when you're with them, it's everything is just fine until otherwise, and if you're not with them anymore, it's just like, yeah, you're gonna feel the wrath of the Umar sector. That's just what it is. You're gonna feel the wrath, and you're gonna feel the wrath a long time until you either get kicked or you either apologize or whatever, and even that's not guaranteed of them not picking on you, or if you just boot yourself off of YouTube altogether. It is what it is. Adolf's, FBA's, all of it is just a scam, a sham, whatever. Pan Africanness has been here for centuries on end. You're just here for a paycheck. That's all you're here for, is a damn paycheck, which you're not getting. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that notification button so whenever time I'll come up for a live, which I'm gonna be live tomorrow, so we can discuss about Trump and his nonsense, which I caught the other day when he did his national thing. I don't know what it was, but he was like, stand up, everybody, stand up if you think I did something right in this country. You think I, took care of the health care and gave the, no tax on tips. I don't like their shithole countries. I need to address all that shit. The Democrats, they're crazy. They're a bunch of crazy human beings. I have not covered that. I'll wait till the shit dies down and then I'll cover it. Oh, the State of the Union. Don't. I gotta look at it first. I gotta look at it. I'm gonna review it tomorrow. I probably won't be using this platform. I'll probably be using some other thing because this needs some work. So I had to get rid of some files, get rid of a lot of things, and hopefully this will work to my discretion. This hasn't worked. And you want me to pay $50 a month for this shit? No, of course not. But I didn't watch. I watched a little bit of it. And again, he's reading from a damn script. But I'll review it. I'll review it tomorrow, and I will definitely see you tomorrow. Oh, did I not say